Hi everyone, good evening. This is Mervyn Thomas from Marga Systems, and we are going to talk about the social enablement of X pages. Slide 2. About Marga. Marga is a leading provider of enterprise collaboration and communications since 2002. Lotus Notes and Domino has been our focus area since inception, and we are now increasingly focused on X pages within the Notes application. We are a specialist offshore Lotus Notes development outsourcing firm focused on delivering quality application development, application maintenance, and system administration services around the Lotus Notes Domino platform. We have skills in Lotus Notes, Domino, Workplace, IBM WebSphere, Lotus Instant Messaging, and Lotus Team Workplace, and provide high-quality services to customers in the US, Europe, and Asia Pacific. Our core strength is in the IBM Lotus technologies of Notes, Domino, and WebSphere. We also have skills in J2EE, the Microsoft suite of technologies, and Oracle databases. We are a premier business partner of IBM, and you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Skype, Twitter, and Vimeo as well. Slide 3.
So, Lino is not able to join today. I think that's primarily because he's available on the in US, and I think there are some issues with the way you can connect from US into this system. So Mervyn is a very leading person from Marga's team. He has worked with IBM Lotus platform right from version 5 onwards, and since 2010 he's been working in X pages, delivering some very complex applications with the X pages suite, trying to do all kinds of different things, integrating different technologies, different platforms, and taking an existing complex product onto X pages, and he's been the lead on such projects. So he is going to be primarily the presenter today, and the primary agenda today is to kind of give the audience an introduction to X pages, why X pages, talk a little bit about the architecture itself, which makes a huge difference to why this technology is hot and how it can integrate with different capabilities, especially from the social side of things, and taken a specific example of integration with social tools, how to do it, so that everyone would be able to appreciate this and probably try and use it in their own environment as well. Feel free to stop anytime in between if you have some questions, or you can combine them and ask right at the end. Both of them are okay. So, Apra, can you move over to agenda on page number 5?
To start with, we'll discuss the difference between X page and X pages. The term X pages usually refers to the entity that's the runtime as a whole. In its singular form, it refers to the Notes Domino design element, just like a form or view. So, what exactly is an X page? Slide 6. Okay. The definition goes like this. An X page is a Notes database element that is used to present content in either a web browser or Notes client. Now we have mobile too. X pages can be considered as a combination of development, runtime, and DOM. Since X pages extends JSF, Xpage editor is based on Eclipse editor. The ID will be discussed in the next slide. The development refers to the development of an application with design elements using Domino Designer, client-side and server-side JavaScript, and Java if needed. The beauty of X pages is you can still use your business logic written on Lotus script if it does not contain an UI. Runtime is the backend processing need for the X pages. Building of X pages with necessary libraries, replication, Domino, security, etc. etc. DOM is the document object model of how a document is represented in the browser or mobile device. Design elements we use for designing our application is converted to the HTML elements in browser. This is taken care by the JRE or the Java Runtime Environment in your browser. Slide 7. XPage is a powerful notes design element because it can do the same content presentation as notes form and notes view. It's a rapid web and mobile application development framework for notes and Domino. From Lotus 8.5, the recommended approach for new web application or upgradation of existing application to a Web 2.0 level is XPages. Web 2.0 is just a standard which refers to the cumulative changes in the way software developers and end users use the web. Developing web and mobile application in XPages are very easy compared to the applications developed for web in normal node with easily organized UI with drag and drop controls plus client-side and server-side for JS, functionality implementation and
Infosys Pune.
XPages is a Java runtime environment that supports all defining features of Web 2.0 and extends a standard-based framework known as Java Server Faces or JSF, and is commonly used as base technology in most commercial web applications. JSF is an industry standard for Java developers engaged in J2EE, but this application even without the Java code. With XPages, Nodes has overcome a lot of limitations which has been in the legacy Nodes version. These changes are in the designer level as well as performance in client side and over a range of devices in addition to the traditional Nodes client. Applications which were in Nodes and to extend browsers now are scalable into Nodes client, browsers as well as mobile devices. And with cloud, XPages has leaped to a new level. Slide 8. Coming to the IDE, we have an editor which is almost WYSIWYG. It's what you see is what you get. What you design here is available in the web as it is, with a few exceptions. You have a control palette on the right side where you can drag the controls to the editor according to your requirement. The application navigator tells you which all applications you have opened in the designer and the design elements inside that application. Here you can also group the applications if needed. The outline views will tell you the hierarchy of the elements as designed. The property view tells you the properties available for the selected elements, and the events view will tell you about the events available for the client. The problems view will tell whether your code has a syntax error or warning. Data palette to the right bottom says to which nodes document or nodes view the current page or control is configured to. All these windows are dockable so that you can arrange your IDE as you like. You can even add more palettes of windows if you need it from the menu. Slide 9. Here what you see is the different palettes available from the previous screen. The property tab of the XPages is selected. You can see that XPage. We have different properties of an XPage where you can configure values or select a color in the style tab, etc. Data refers to the data palette. You can define a notes document or notes view there. Resources are what you included into your page. Your code may be in script libraries and you can include them here. All properties tab is the advanced level which sorts all the properties according to group. The event categories of the XPages is expanded. These are the events you will see in the events tab as well. You can open up a box for entering the event. You can refer to the libraries. There are built-in functions and variables which make your coding easier. Here, Domino class is worth mentioning. We have a class called database and session, which is similar to the nodes database and node session classes in Lotus script. And the at function categories, we can use the formulas. Syntax is similar. Comma, the semicolon might be replaced with comma. Above the properties tab, you can see design and source tabs. Here in design tab, you can see how it looks like, and in the source tab, you can see the XML created in the backend when you created a control in the design tab. In source tab, you would be able to add code directly as well, which is suitable for an advanced developer. Slide 10. Here you see few features of XPages. On the left side, there's core controls. These are also called primitive controls, basic controls. It can be dragged directly into the editor. In one of the previous slides, we had the events tab. For a control, you can have events. You can tell whether this event should occur in the client side or server side. In both of the tabs, there are simple actions such as save document or JavaScript, which provides you a script editor. For a server side, you can tell after executing the script what portion of the screen should be refreshed. It can be a full update or part of a screen which is partial update. This uses an AJAX call, or no update, which says the code will be processed but nothing will be updated in this UI. And no submission says the code will not execute at all. To the right side, we have a container controls, which are compound controls and can contain a combination of primitive controls or core controls. I'll take your attention to the repeat control. So repeat control is one of them, which I will be talking in the next slide. And a tabbed panel can be seen below with two tabs, new tab and new tab 2. To the right bottom, we have a type ahead box. The possible value of the box can be populated with DB lookup or DB column or hard-coded. As and when user types letters, the suggestions are displayed. We can also mention after how many characters it should start showing the suggestions. For example, if you type BH here and you say after 2 characters you should see the suggestions, it will not display anything when you type B, but when you type BH, it will suggest Bhopal, Bhutan, etc. Slide 11. In notes form, when we need to display 10 rows, we had to design 10 rows or 1 row copy paste as many times as needed. And we used different field names, and it was very tedious to track with the code. So this is a repeat control where the contents in the row is designed once and asked to repeat n number of times. Can you click enter? The code for the repeat goes like this. Here, rows equal to 12 says display 12 rows at a time. If there are more rows, then you can navigate via a pager. Value says how many times it should be repeated.
Now attending.
Rohit Singh.
It can be fixed or dynamic based on the value you set on the code. If your value comes to 25 and you have 10 rows per page, you will have 1, 2, 3 on pages so that you can navigate to that page. Can you press enter? Below you see how it got translated into the web. XP repeat got translated into div.
Now attending.
XP table to table and also. The row has a style called view table and is shown in CSS. Next slide. Slide number 12. As said before, XPages editor is a basic editor, where what you see is what you get. We have some exceptions here. Repeat control is one of them. As you do not know how many rows you need, you will design one row and repeat many times. The other one is CSS. If you apply inline styles, it would be visible, but style mentioned in the CSS would not be visible in the editor. It is rendered only during runtime. Theme. You can apply a theme to all of the X pages using one UI as you've seen in some other browser applications. With change of a theme, the style for the whole application is changed. Custom controls are like subforms where we can reuse it in X pages or other custom controls as well. Internationalization or I18N helps you to store the values in the backend and display with formatting using the I18N class. Here, 18 refers to the number of letters between I and N in internationalization. Okay. Now, why one should move to X pages? Slide 13. There are 6 good reasons. Moving to cloud is one of them. Previously, our photos and apps were in our PC. Now it is in file sharing and photo sharing apps. And X pages applications can be easily sourced on a server where the user does not need a nodes client. He can use it from web or mobile clients on the move. Secondly, we have 280,000 Nodes developers, there is 9 million Java developers. So X pages built on JSF support Java and is easy for a Java developer. And since it uses the class and that functions, it is easy for a Lotus Notes developer as well. So a combination would provide better results. Thirdly, the code written once in X pages can be accessed via Nodes client, web browsers, mobile devices, and tablets. So it's in the ratio 1:4. You write once and can display it in 4 platforms. This topic primarily focuses on the next point, enabling social business. According to the research conducted by McKinsey & Company, a global management consulting firm, social networking approaches are likely to reap more gains and market leadership. 77% of the companies who participated in this research experienced speed of access to knowledge by adapting social technologies. When organizations invest in UX during a project's concept phase, they reduce product development cycles by 33 to 50%. So investing in user experience and usability testing upfront can reduce your support cost by 90%. And finally, according to Gartner, an information technology research and advisory firm in US, in a couple of years, mobile applications will be greater than other applications on a ratio 4:1. So these are 6 good reasons why you should move to X pages. Slide 14, X page skills. X page skills are a combination of front-end and back-end skills. In either way, we can categorize the skill whether it is shared or specific. Some of the shared front-end is Dojo libraries, Dojo widgets, themes, etc. Shared components for backends are custom control, shared SSJs, managed beans, and extension libraries. As we move away from the center, it is more towards the system type. On the specific side, towards the upper part, it would be for the one which is designed for the business or client to be specific to any of the business mentioned in our. Slide 16. Slide 15. We'll go to the X pages architecture. Slide 16. X pages technology is based on JSF, Java Server Faces from Sun. JSF simply uses the MVC architecture modeling for the part, model, view, and controller, and JSP by default, but can be used with other technologies as well. JSF components are too limited for enterprise development. IBM has used X pages to accommodate the JSF limitations and integrate the possibilities of the framework into Lotus Notes for web developers and simplify the Lotus Notes development process and work on the website. So how can we define X pages technology in Domino? Domino replaces the servlet aspect used by JSF using a pure XML engine. So the HTTP task includes the XSP engine, X pages may be tempted to compare to the extensible server pages. Of course, they both focus on MVC model, but X pages are a component of Lotus Notes database, which is not limited to either server-side nor to Java. So, moreover, XSP is loosely defined and contains a limited set of instructions. Slide number 17. The MVC model. MVC refers to the Model View Controller architecture. It means business logic, data, and user interface are separated from each other. With Lotus Notes clients, developers have the possibility to use views, forms, subforms, which are the view part of the MVC, documents and profiles, which are the M or model in the MVC, and Lotus Notes and Domino, which is the controller. Domino gives the possibility to divide some portion of the code into the MVC model. As forms and documents are tightly coupled, you will not be able to divide the model from the view component in the MVC model. Whereas in the XPage technology, it will help you to make a more logical separation. First, the repository will be the form, where you just define the data type, and storage, while the user interface and business logic will be defined in the XPage. The controller is Domino or the Lotus Notes client. To put it together, model is the domain of the developer. Hence, the business logic defined in the backend will be our model. The view part of architecture is supposed to be completely separated from business functions. So the XPage and other UI will be our view part. The purpose of a controller is to coordinate the work between the model and the view, which is done by HTTP task of the Domino server. Applying the MVC architecture to a Domino application can leverage the power of the platform for a rapid development, while bundling an application that is easier to scale and also can evolve at the speed that is demanded by the business. Slide 18. User interface component hierarchy. You would have noticed in a previous slide number 11, about the repeat control, how XP repeat got translated into a div and XP table to a table. This is how it works. The XPage's specialized components will get converted to XPage standard components. XPage standard components are extensions of JSS standard components. So XPage standard components get converted to JSS standard components, and they in turn get converted to JSF component interfaces. This happens while we build the application. And JSF extends these components to provide HTML specific components. This is how an XP repeat gets translated into a div and XP table gets translated into a table and similar. Slide 19, integration tools. Why do we need social enabling? Slide 20. Shall I the answer? When we see how it was a couple of years before, smartphones and tablets have occupied the position of desktop now. Previously, we need to connect to the internet and wait for the information to be downloaded. Now it is always connected and data is pushed as per your request via feeds, SMS, whatever on the move. The world is shrinking, and previously we had to get an application in CD. Now it is apps and plugins anywhere. And you do not need a mouse anymore. The world is just in a fingertips, you can touch. Slide 21. The mere mention of the word social in enterprise technology discussion has historically been met with eye rolls and sighs. Product names like Yammer, Chatter, and Jive certainly haven't helped overcome initial impressions. Many in higher level management roles have reacted to it as a gimmick or an employee distraction versus a potentially valuable business tool. But the tide is turning as companies begin to experience the real benefit of social technologies and sentiment is changing rapidly. The statistics displayed here mention why we need social enabling. And by this time, you would have heard of followers in Facebook, followers in Twitter, etc. Slide 22, Expages Go Social. IBM Lotus Domino has always been a collaborative platform. Many users also consider it as a social platform too. These days, people are connected more than ever, blurring the line between business and private life. Often, employees have Twitter accounts that they use to tweet both private and business messages. Also, many employees use their private smartphone to access business application and data. Furthermore, information is scattered more than ever within enterprises and in public social networks, within on-premise systems and on the cloud. New notifications come not only in inbox, but also via connections, Facebook, Google+, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. As a result, there are new requirements for technologies to integrate and interoperate between heterogeneous systems. Technically, this often means REST APIs, which are the new lightweight and easy to consume web services that most services support by now. Social applications always involve people and they have to deal with users' profile information. In addition to all the social functionality that Domino has always offered, the extension library now comes with the concepts to access the profile information of users, not only from Lotus Domino, but also from these other services. Now let us see how we can do that. So these are the requirements we got during the Codathon. So it goes like self-service portal for managers and HR personnel, company website integration, bringing together leads, engage and communicate, easiest way to get word out to social platforms, all job promotion activities from a single platform, etc. So can we have the demo now? Are you there? Can we have the demo now?
Mervin, I'm afraid I have to share this demo on the forum again for an offline dump because the streaming is fairly poor on Lotus Live.
Fine. Okay. So
maybe you would want to talk about this, and probably after the talk we will share, where the presentation is hosted, we will share the demo there.
Fine,
you
okay.
can give a brief as to, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So we are at slide number 26 right now. This would be the initial screen of the application. So what this will do is, this will list all the available jobs which are there in the system. So clicking on any one of them will open a window which can be seen on the next screen. Slide number 27. So clicking on any one of the job from the previous jobs listed in the previous screen, you get one tweet like this. You get a window like this, and you have a button Twitter tweet to do the tweeting. So clicking on the Twitter tweet will pop you with the other window, and the description mentioned there will be available in the box. So how we achieve this is via the code which is shown displayed below. So we see that get component job description dot get value. So job description is the field which gives the description of the example here it is Lotus Notes experience with 2 years experience. So that is the job description field. So whatever values entered there, it can be taken to the tweet, and then on clicking the tweet button, it will be available on your Twitter. You will have to log in using Twitter for this. And how to connect to LinkedIn now? Slide 28. We need an API key to connect to the LinkedIn. To get this API key, you have to log in with your LinkedIn ID to the LinkedIn site, and you can get it from there. You can use the below script to connect to LinkedIn, and where your LinkedIn API key is within the braces, you remove the comment from there, and you can put the API key over there. And authorize equal to true is another parameter which you should pass. It says that it should be authorized. Slide number 30. Sorry, slide number 29. So this shows the already selected resources in the company's database itself. So there are 2 buttons, approve and reject for a fresh candidate. So once somebody clicks on approve button, the approve button gets hidden and only the reject button will be shown. This is for higher level screening. So, and if some person is getting rejected and at some other points they need it to be approved, so the approve buttons will be shown over there. Slide number 30. So clicking on the second link, source from LinkedIn, will display the resources from LinkedIn, their name, designation, industry, etc. So how we achieved this is by, can you click enter? This is the function used, and this is the code for getting all of them in all of the resources here. Here the fields, first name, last name, public profile URL, picture URL, headline and industry is got from the LinkedIn profile, and the profiles to be searched, the keywords criteria is Lotus Notes and the count is 100. Count is 100 means we can get a maximum of 100 resources. And these 100 resources are displayed using a repeat control where we just create one design element for one row and ask them to repeat 100 times. Okay. Once you authenticate it and you get the data back, you set the values to a layer. Here you can see the whole thing inside the dot result. So these functions will be repeated for all the peoples in that search, for all the resources which you get during the search. Slide 31. This is the function which we use to connect to the authorized pin. You see the latest code in the previous slide. So this is how we do that, and these are wrote as separate functions. In slide 30, it is in a single function. For authentication of the code, for the authentication, we use the code below for that. Here, only the first name, last name, and positions are taken. Keyword is given as designer and count as 25. Slide number 32. This is used to get the resources from get the value of one resource from the LinkedIn profile. we have given that first name, last name, and position. So with that, this will create a loop and have the members there. So you can have references to the other API, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn as well. So I had been referring to Mastering X Pages book and various resources from internet. So that's the end of my presentation. And